Welcome back to yet another episode of Seffish Yapping. I am one of your hosts, Seth.
And I am the other host, Fish.
We got another banger hopefully going on today, but before we get into anything, Fish, it's been a while since it's just been me and you.
I know, first time since episode 1, right?
Yeah, we've had a lot of good friends on here and some good conversations about stuff, but I
Yeah,
think it's good that we roll back a little bit and just get one, just me and you.
yeah.
Maybe
The
a
people.
couple. Maybe a couple with just me and you. Just to kind
Yeah,
of get back in the flow. But
yeah. People.
like,
Whoa,
what are you saying?
what? I
What?
don't know. I actually lost my I lost my train of thought entirely now.
And that's what it's like to be on this podcast.
Yeah,
Um, I was just gonna say, how have you been lately? What's been going on?
pretty good. So a few weeks ago, I actually started like fostering kittens, and I think it was like last Tuesday or last Wednesday, one of them scratched me on my finger and it got grossly infected. Like there was a few days like over the weekend I sincerely thought that I might need to like go to urgent care and get antibiotics because like at one point one day it was just on fire the whole time like all day and there was a really gross blister and then like the next day, it just kind of went like numb, and the blister had popped, and my finger was like a bright red.
Ew.
But yeah, it was incredibly gross. But after just not doing anything because why would I go to the doctor for just because I might lose my finger? It's doing better today. Like it's new skin, but it doesn't really look gross. It just kind of looks like I had a bad burn, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, like the all the like infection looking red is gone. It's just a little pink now, but that's just because it's baby skin.
Yeah, dude, you can never tell with stuff like that. Like, it doesn't seem big, and then the next day your whole finger's swollen.
Yeah, like I've gotten scratched by cats a lot before, and I'd never had an infection, and so even whenever like I first noticed, like, hey, this is really red, and it's kind of getting worse. I didn't think it'd be a big deal. And I
Right.
guess I was right because I'm pretty sure I'm going to be okay now. That being said, I haven't been able to use that finger in like a week now and it's been really annoying. Like today's like the first day I can actually like fully use it again
Nice.
without yeah.
Dude, do you remember the last episode when we were talking about like the Ratatouille scene where he like has a flashback?
Yeah, of
Is that
course.
is that how you felt whenever you used your finger for the first time in a week?
I mean, not even it was just like, like when you've had a really bad headache and you don't realize until you have a headache how thankful you should be when you don't have a headache.
Yeah.
It was just like I had a headache and then finally the headache went away, but instead of my head it was my finger and instead of a few hours it was like 5 days.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't really been doing too much lately. Um just just a lot of nothing really. Like been playing poker here and there. That's a good deal we got going.
That is
Um
a very good deal for both of us, yes.
yeah, very mental toughness sessions going on right now, but pushing through it. I love
Yeah.
poker, so
Why do you love poker so much?
dude, I don't honestly, I don't know if it's just because it's something that I've known my whole life or if it's I don't know, I really enjoy like just the whole experience because I'm a talker at the table. I like to get people talking and loose so I can kind of get some reads off them, like see their tells and stuff like that, but like I just have a lot of fun, especially if you so just a quick one. Like I was playing a hand on Friday, this recent Friday, and this guy put a really big bluff out on the river, and all I had was two pair, and the board was like super connected and everything. And I called
Yeah.
his bet, and I was right, and he just mucked his hand, and I won a pretty good pot.
So, if you're anything like me, listeners, there's probably about 5 or 6 words there that you did not understand whatsoever, but I think we can kind of get the gist of
Yeah, so
what
the guy
happened.
bet to represent he had something else, and I called with a weak hand, and I was right because he had nothing. That's a quick summary,
So,
I guess.
yeah, quick summary is you called his bluff.
Yeah, pretty much.
Nice. Dude, I bet that feels great.
Yeah. But so the thing that we're like kind of going to talk about today is sports. And like
Yeah.
at the poker table, dude, I don't personally. I know you have dabbled a little bit, but dude, everybody at the poker table is talking about they're talking about sports betting all the time and like different
Ooh.
overs and unders of like every sport you can imagine, like baseball, softball, like lacrosse, dude. People are really degenerate. Um,
I know, and like the number of like sports gambling like commercials for like FanDuel or like DraftKings. Anytime you turn on the TV, I feel like every other commercial now is for like sports betting, and I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you like how you felt because it was only like a couple of years ago where there was nothing like that. Like none
Yeah,
of it was legal. Like there was the gray area, but now you can just straight up download and deposit and just bet away. Like
and it is like heavily encouraged for you to do so even. It's kind of messed up, I feel like.
yeah, no, and it always like ropes you in because most of them have like the hey, you deposit this and we'll match up to this, or hey, you get one big free bet and it's like a bet that's unlosable pretty much,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
No, that's the other thing. Like if you enjoy a little like casual sports gambling, no judgment because I did it myself at towards the end of the football season. And then I lost like $300 on the Super Bowl, so that made me really salty, and I uninstalled all the apps. But I bet that if I had won, I would have ended up losing a lot more than just $300. So I'm gonna call this the good ending.
Yeah, dude, but like the the really intriguing part about it is like you can do really well for a long time if you place safe bets. You know what I mean?
What,
Like
sports gambling or poker?
sports gambling.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
if you place safe bets, like Luka Doncic to get 20 points or something. If you place
yeah,
that bet every single game, you can make a little bit. You can make a
yeah.
little bit of money over a long period of time, but like the stuff that really gets like me personally like dragged in is like you put together a parlay that's going to pay you massive
Dude,
for $1,
yeah.
but you put
I
a
don't.
bunch of those in and you lose like 20 bucks really quick, but the thought that you could have won 1,000, you know what I mean?
Oh no, dude, that's the addicting part. Like, yeah, give me like a 6 leg parlay and I put in like $20. But if they all hit, I get like $800.
Yeah.
I bet that feels great. And
Yeah.
that's why it's addicting. Shout out gambling addiction.
And I think
Whoa.
like the part about it is so I've worked with an app before that like wanted to reel customers in and do that. Like I think the big thing is like when you have a near miss, you get 5 out of 6 legs, dude. It gets you
Oh,
so hyped up to put in another one
yeah.
because it's like, man, I was so close this time. Next time I'm going to get it.
Yeah. No, so like that was like what I did with the Super Bowl. I had like I don't know, like 5 or 6 like 40 or $50 bets. And I think they were all like 4 to 6 leg parlays, and every single one of them failed by like one or two. So like if that game had gone slightly different, I could have made like $5,000. And it was like they all missed by like uh, you know,
Mhm.
Patrick Mahomes didn't rush. He needed to rush 1.5 more yards or whatever. Like they were all really close, and it was upsetting.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just the near miss factor that really gets you into like betting, I think.
Yeah.
Um, but did you see the MLB player that
What?
he got banned from for life just a couple days ago or like a week ago or something. He got banned for life from the MLB because he was betting on the sport.
I did not hear about that,
Yeah,
but
dude. He apparently it was like the biggest gambling scandal in decades for Major League Baseball. Like four other people were suspended, and that guy in specific was banned for life from baseball.
wow.
He
All
played for
right.
the Padres.
Well, there you go.
Hmm.
No, not that I don't think any professional athletes are listening to this podcast, but if you're a professional athlete, maybe don't gamble on your own league.
Yeah.
Like, is that a hot take? I feel
No,
like,
no, no, because they're actually even in college football. You know how everything you can do NIL and everything now. Like
yeah,
everybody's getting paid. So there was this. I think it was last season as well. There was a college football player that literally had been making bets. I think he played at LSU. I'm not certain, but he was making bets on the games that he was playing in and on himself to like have a certain amount of catches or whatever.
yeah.
And it's like he was still losing his bets. But I don't know if it was because he was like bad or what he was doing, but it's like, dude, I mean, you got to know that someone's gonna figure out. Like,
Yeah.
we're in a day and age where nothing slips by, and
the
like,
the digital trail for anything you do is like if someone wanted to find out like what website you went to this like Tuesday afternoon 5 months ago, they could do it
yeah, like,
somehow.
yeah, and it's just like, and a lot of people talk now, and you post one thing on Snapchat, like, oh man, I just made a bet. Like,
Hmm.
you're getting caught because someone's leaking it, especially if you're a big athlete or an athlete that gets paid a lot. Like someone's gonna leak it if they're friends with you and think that they
Oh
can get
yeah.
something from it. So it's
Not
just
I don't even think it would always be malicious, but
no. It's like,
here
dude,
I
this is awesome. Check this out, and then it's like, uh oh, you just ruined this guy's career.
all right, so this might be a hot take, especially given what I just said like 2 minutes ago. I do think you should be allowed to bet on yourself as a professional athlete, but only like to do better than like projected, if
Yeah,
that makes sense.
yeah, I was gonna say like, cause you could just bet on yourself to have zero hits in a baseball game, and then you just go out there
Yeah.
and whiff everything. But I think that you should have to bet on yourself to like do something hard at least. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like like if I'm the if I'm Patrick Mahomes and I want to like bet, I want to place a bet on myself that I'm going to rush for 300 yards and throw 5 touchdown passes, like insane numbers.
Yeah.
I should be able to do that. Like that's good. That's good motivation.
That's not gambling. That's confidence.
Yeah, that is having faith in yourself, which is, you know, I think that's what every professional athlete like needs to have.
Yeah.
At, if nothing else, other than talent,
Yeah.
um,
Like
they should
wouldn't
have faith in themselves.
yeah, wouldn't everything be like so much more competitive if you had to, if you had bets going on yourself?
Yeah,
Like,
like
cuz some things just don't even feel like the NBA, dude. It doesn't even feel competitive right now. Like
well,
like everybody just no one really like plays hard defense anymore. It's like you should
mm,
bet on yourself to have 10 blocks per game. And see how the games start going whenever someone's betting on themselves to have 10 blocks.
ooh, that might be a really good way to like revitalize. Like you were talking about the NBA. I don't really like basketball, but like defense in the NFL has also gotten like
Weak.
I, I don't want to say soft, but yeah, like it's gotten like really kind of boring to like watch defensive plays a lot of the time because football politics and like targeting calls, whatever aside, it's just like they're not really motivated to like hit hit the people that they should be hitting.
Yeah, no, I feel that, and it's like it really does have a lot to do with the whole like CTE thing. I think
It
like
does.
it's gotten just like very protective of people playing the
Yeah.
game. But so you mentioned that you don't really like basketball. I think you've said something about it before, but like, could you like elaborate a little bit on why you don't like basketball?
Okay, so like my whole reason for not liking basketball, this is gonna sound weird, but it's too much action, if that makes sense. Like I love I recently have like rediscovered like my love for hockey, which has a whole lot of action, but in hockey, like whenever you get a goal in hockey, that's significant. Like
Right.
most games, there's going to be less than 5 goals scored in total. Whereas like in basketball, it's like, yeah, you hit a really nice 3-pointer, but you also are going to hit 5 more 3-pointers, and your teammate over there that's better than you is going to hit 7 of the. Like, I don't know 3-point numbers in the NBA, but
Yeah.
it's just like whenever almost every possession in basketball is going to result in at least 2 points or whatever,
Hmm.
unless it's within the last few minutes and it's actually a close game. I just feel like 90% of the like shots you make in basketball don't actually matter.
Yeah, no, and I kind of get what you're saying because, well, I stopped watching basketball when the Thunder like blew a lead to the Warriors years back,
Yeah.
and I just thought like it was the biggest fluke ever. Like as a kid, I was like, this is stupid, dude. Like, there's no way we should lose this series.
Dude, no, yeah, didn't the Thunder do that with against the Mavs in like one of the games this season? They were up by like 30 points at some point and then they just completely choked.
Dude, and that yes, and that's like what happens, like what you mentioned, like the whole game can go by and a team can be up by 40 points and then somehow it like feels like it's all almost always close. Like the
Yeah.
end of the game is a lot of fun to watch.
I can agree with that. Like I won't say that I'll never like watch a basketball game, but if I turn on a basketball game and it's not like the last 5 minutes, I'm not watching it.
Yeah, like I like a good old fashioned like blowout, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like you can
Well,
think that's happening if you're watching an NBA game, and then all of a sudden this team goes on like a 20-2 run or something, and the game's tied up. you know?
yeah, and so I guess that could be like a that could be really exciting to watch, like assuming you're the team that's down and then you just like go off.
Yeah.
But
Um, like okay, to like piggyback off of that, like being an OU fan,
yeah.
kind of feels the same way sometimes. Like what was it, a couple years ago or the year before or whatever, we were down like 28-0 to Texas and we still
Hmm.
end up coming back and winning. Dude, that was the greatest. That
Oh,
was like some of the most hype I've ever felt.
dude, and I love that for you, but I will still never forget. I think it was whenever Baylor played OU in was that like 2018 or 2019, and at halftime Baylor was up by like 28 points, and then we just did nothing the
Yeah.
entire second half, and y'all came back and won. That made me really not want to watch football
Yeah.
for a while.
And
Like,
that was like the big thing with the Big 12 for so long was like for some reason it felt like there was no defense at all, and then like whenever your team was up
uh-huh.
by a whole bunch, dude, somehow the defense of the like other team starts playing, and then you realize like, dude, I have to have some kind of like lasting condition going on with me because of when Baker Mayfield played at OU. Every single game, dude. Well, even like up to Kyler Murray, Jalen Hurts, like every single game, I'm like on the edge of my seat. Even if we're up 15, 14, 21, like 28 points, somehow
Yeah.
the game still ends up being close every single time.
That is really like OU specialty, I feel
Yeah,
like
close
in recent
games.
years. Yeah. Which super entertaining to watch, but I
Dude,
know that's gotta be painful. Like,
I would rather blow everyone out than like have like those games are fun to watch,
yeah,
obviously, but
but
like
it's stressful.
it's so stressful, especially like whenever you do that all year and then you make it to the playoffs and lose.
Oh yeah.
like like
As
it's like what was
as
all this for?
as a Dallas Cowboys fan, this last season really hurt.
Yeah.
Which, I know for a fact I'm gonna go in to the start of this season and be like, I'm gonna keep a level head. I'm not gonna get excited. Whenever it's November and we're up like 10-1, I'm not gonna get excited because I know we're gonna choke. And that's the mindset I'm going in with. But I know realistically, whenever we're up 12-4 in December, I'm gonna get really excited for playoffs again.
Hmm.
And then a Green Bay's gonna happen again, and I'll have to uh I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Yeah, no, and I think I mentioned this earlier. It was like OU is like the Dallas Cowboys of college football. And
Yeah.
I want, dude, every single year I do the same thing as you. I'm like the season starts, we're like 7-0, you know. We're looking
Yeah.
great. We're in the top 10, top 5,
Oh yeah.
and like I'm just like don't get too excited, but then of course I get too excited. And like
Well,
we either lose one that we should never lose, or we make it to the playoffs and we lose that the first round of the playoffs, and then it's like it ruins my
yeah.
whole deal.
No, dude, and then also I feel like God, I'm blanking. Like AP, like College Board or whatever, whoever
Hmm.
does like the football power rankings,
Yeah.
they hate OU because, like you said, y'all will lose like one game, even if it's against like a school you should not lose to, and y'all will go from like top 7 spots immediately down to like lower teens or like in the 20s
Hmm.
even.
Yeah.
And then like Alabama will do the same thing, and they go from number 1 to number 3.
Yeah. Now that we're moving to the SEC, like along with Texas, I wonder how things like that are going to be now, and I also wonder how competitive we're going to be there. You know what I mean? Like we have the like recruiting and stuff to kind of set up to have, a good time there.
Yeah.
But I'm also, it's a tough conference. Like that
I was,
whole
it
conference is
it's gonna
stacked.
it's gonna be a different beast for
I
sure.
mean, even if like the team sucks, like if Texas A&M is a horrible team and you go into College Station, bro, it's not going to be a fun time. College
Nah,
Station is top top hardest places to play, like one of them. It's got to
dude,
be.
you haven't been to Kyle Field though, but like, it's it's an experience. It
Yeah.
is something
You can
else.
tell from the like videos and like watching it on TV that it's just crazy there. Like it's got
Mm-hmm.
to be so hostile coming in there as an away team.
Dude, I
Um
certainly would not want to.
yeah, so I wanted to ask you. I'll answer this first, but
Yeah.
like the worst like pain that you felt from a sporting event in your life. And while I answer this, you can also respond, but um I'll answer first with
Hmm.
2018, January 1st or 2nd or whatever. So
Oh,
I have to
dude,
leave for basic training this day.
I was I was there for that. That was
You were there.
yeah, that was a bad day.
There this is set up to be the worst day of my life. This might
It
actually
was
be
literally
the
yeah,
worst day of my life.
it was literally like the next day you were going to basic training,
Yeah,
right?
like I had to go to the hotel that day to leave in the morning at 4
Like
a.m.
right after the game. Yeah.
Yeah. No, not even after the game. I had to leave during the game to get to the hotel on time.
Oh,
So we're playing Georgia. OU's playing Georgia. This year is a national championship year. We should have won the national championship this year. I do not care what anybody says. This OU team should have won the national championship this year, and I hate Lincoln Riley for not having a defense.
ooh.
But
Yeah,
yeah, so
yeah,
I
y'all.
leave the house, right?
Yeah.
I left the game, and we were up by, I don't know, we were still up like 2 touchdowns or something, and there was like 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter, dude. Like I left confident,
Yeah.
and then
Like
so I FaceTime in, and we're
mm,
losing when I FaceTime because I'm like almost to the hotel, and I FaceTime because I see that stuff's going on, and somehow we're almost losing. Well, I guess I'm not almost to the hotel, but I'm like down the road a ways, and you guys FaceTime me, and all of a sudden we're in overtime or
uh
whatever. And
yeah.
how, dude? That no, that's the worst day of my life, dude. I was in so much pain,
That
not
was
only
pretty
because I had to
sad.
leave everybody, but because one, my favorite
Like,
college football player of all time just lost the biggest game, and he's never gonna wear an OU uniform again.
yeah, because that was Mayfield's last game that at OU,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out Baker Mayfield. I got a signed
Shout out.
jersey.
Yeah.
Signed jersey. It's my like prized OU possession. Um, but yeah, dude, that I mean, like, it's still, whenever I look at highlights of that game or, like, think about or talk about that game, like, right now, I get sick to my stomach. I'm not even kidding, dude. Like,
Dude, I don't blame you.
that was so much, like, the pain of that on top of the pain of leaving to go to basic training. You know what I mean? Like, it was too
Yeah.
much.
That must have been a really rough day.
Dude, it was a rough very many days. And then
No,
to mention like to like rub it in, like the Super Bowl was a few weeks later, a couple weeks later or whatever, and the drill sergeants
yeah.
just played the Super Bowl over the intercom. We couldn't watch it.
Nice.
The
You could hear.
Eagles won.
Oh,
Yeah.
ooh, yeah, I forgot about that. No, so that's definitely like way worse than mine, and I think I've actually already mentioned like really like what I would say. Ooh, actually, top two already mentioned. One being Cowboys losing to Green Bay this last season.
Hmm.
That was awful. I left the game early. I was with my dad. He just straight up started taking a nap during the game because
Oh, dude, you know it's bad then.
that's how bad it was. And then yeah, I left like right around the start of the fourth quarter because I was like, yeah, this isn't.
Yeah.
There was still time to come back, but we were down by like I don't know 30 points or something ridiculous. And you can tell like whenever your team's just not playing how they should. Like you can tell sometimes.
Yeah. No. I
Um,
I know.
yeah, that yeah, OU the OU game that I mentioned earlier in I think 2018.
Hmm.
And then no, that was 2019 actually. And then another one which I can't choose between any of these because they were all just bad. That just happened last Friday actually. Not last Friday, the Friday before.
Hmm.
Whenever I went to the Dallas Stars Oilers game 5, and that was the first professional hockey team game I'd ever been to, and it was a blast. And man, it would have been so much cooler if it was actually a good game and we weren't down by 2 points for basically the entire time.
Right. Wasn't that like the series clinching game or whatever too?
No, it wasn't. If we'd won that, like we were, I think it was 2-2 then. That can't be right.
2-1 maybe?
Anyways, yeah, because it was game 5, so maybe we were 3-2. But like it was a relatively low stakes game for us. But like it was just disappointing because like it should have been so much fun, but because the Stars just did not show up to play, like losing the first like professional like football or if you pay several $100s for tickets to go to a live sports event and then your team loses and it's the first time you've done that, it feels really crappy.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree because that's kind of like the whole like having a whole season full of stressful moments and then losing the first game. Like that's how that
Yeah.
feels.
Yeah, it's the same like oh feeling.
Yeah.
S Similar to that. Spin that question around. I'll answer first. What's the best like sporting
Mm.
moment that you've had? While you think about that, mine is it's got to be the Big 12 championship in I think it was 2021 Baylor against OSU. And in the very last play of the game, Baylor's line stops OSU from running the ball in to like get the lead and win the game by literally like 1.5 inches. Uh, I don't know. You probably didn't even watch it because it was Baylor OSU, but I'll share this with you. You can watch it later. My heart stopped because like the OSU hands off the ball and it's wide open and like
I was watching
my heart
this.
yeah, dude, my heart like fell down to the floor and I was like, it's over, it's over. And then somehow, by less than 2 or 3 inches, he gets tackled before he can get a touchdown. And it was like the fastest I have ever gone from like 0 to 100.
Dude,
I was like, I was at like an 80 or a 90 in hype, and then I fell straight down to the bottom, and then like I shot straight up. Dude, I started weeping. I
yeah.
literally like I wept because it was like that unbelievable.
Yeah, I was watching that one live because I know that probably some of the people that are watching are OSU fans, or maybe someone that does listen will be eventually. But
Hey,
um,
shout out Jake. Screw you, Jake.
yeah, shout out Jake, but also, well, you know what, Jake might be a good person, but
Yeah.
I used to be like, dude, I want OU and OSU to win all season, and then when they face each other, it's gonna be an amazing game. Now dude, just because of how OSU fans are, and I get like OU fans do the exact same thing, but I'm not one of the people that like will just talk crap all season long
Anymore.
anymore. I won't do
Yeah.
it anymore because I realize how annoying it is. But
It,
like,
it got it got pretty toxic between us for a while.
yeah, but it was for no reason though, because like you
It
end up
was
not liking Texas as much, and instead
yeah,
you're like a Baylor. But like I was
yeah.
saying, like OSU fans, they just say, dude, they will, any sport but football, they will go and tell you how much OU sucks. If they lose every game in football, they're fine with it because they will go and tell you that their baseball team just wrecked you. And
Or they'll
so,
they'll bring up wrestling
yeah, or
championships
wrestling, or
for
like
the
goat roping and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
of
Um,
course.
yeah, but like, so I was watching that game and I was praying on OSU's downfall, dude, and I
Hmm.
could not believe that that happened. That had to have been the one of the greatest goal line stands I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Um, like, okay, so I'll go to my answer if you're finished.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
I have two kind of as well.
All right.
One is another that's not an OU moment. It's because
Oh,
Ethan was over at my house. Shout out Ethan. And
shout
we
out
were
Ethan.
watching. It was another thing. Like we were praying on OSU's downfall.
Of course.
They were playing Central Michigan, dude, and it was the end of the game, and something happened, and there was a flag, right? And
Yeah.
there was 0.00 seconds left. They let Central Michigan run one more play. I think that's how it went.
Oh.
So Central Michigan throws this Hail Mary, dude.
Yeah.
They catch the Hail Mary, and then they throw it back to another guy that's coming around because that guy's getting tackled, and that guy runs
Oh.
around and dives with one hand to score a touchdown and
And
win
win
the
the
game.
game.
And I don't remember how legitimate it was because of the 0 second thing. Like, I think
Yeah.
there was maybe some controversy, like that should they shouldn't have been able to run a play. But
Yeah.
still, dude, like me and Ethan were jumping up in the air screaming, dude, like it was so amazing because like, and I don't care, like if OSU would have done it, it would have been probably just as crazy because any Hail Mary ever.
Any like crazy play like that, even if it's against your team, little
Yeah.
less if it's against your team. Any crazy play like that, though, it's like, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Hail Marys are crazy, but my number one is I was actually it was OU versus TCU in 2015, and like whoever wins
Ooh,
this game was going to the Big 12 championship, and then eventually the playoff. Like OU ended up being in the playoffs for the first time, I think, that year with Baker. It was Baker's
yeah,
first year, I think, actually, um, and
that sounds
we
great. Yeah.
I think he got hurt that game. He got a concussion, and we were up already, luckily, whenever he got the concussion. But then the rest of the game was kind of like, you know, I think, dude, who was it? Like Trevor Knight maybe was our backup, and
Yeah, he
you've
he
seen
was
that
there
guy.
before.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you've seen that guy. Um, and like they had, it was the end of the game, like fourth quarter, a few seconds left, and they scored a touchdown. and the
Yeah.
touchdown put it was 28-27 or something.
Ooh.
OU was up by 1 point, and
Yeah.
instead of going for the field goal, they decide, hey, we're gonna go for two and try to win this thing. And it was where they were going for two was the end zone that my tickets were in. And I'm
Ooh.
like, dude, the season tickets we had were like 10 rows up from the field. Like,
Ooh.
dude,
So
it was the
you're pretty close.
loudest. Like the setup to that, it was the loudest I've ever heard any place. And then like they run the play, and then the OU player like swats the pass out of the air, and
Yeah.
everybody just goes crazy. Like you don't know who
Ooh.
everybody is, and they're just like hugging and high fiving, dude.
You're getting fist bumps and like everything. Dude,
Yeah,
I got chills just listening to that.
yeah, and you can watch the like if you remind me, I'll send you the clip of it. But like that's like the feeling I got. Like obviously that one was heightened because I was there, but like
Yeah.
every single game that Baker Mayfield played, holy dude, like him versus Tennessee, same thing happens. We like go to overtime, and we were down a bunch in the game, and he just that's when the first Baker magic comes out. Like everybody was kind of like, no, put back in Trevor Knight, and then
Yeah.
until this game happened, and yeah, dude, just
Dude,
unreal.
all I remember about Trevor Knight is that he was like briefly dating Katy Perry or something, which is still just like
That's
crazy
weird.
lore. Yeah,
um,
I don't know why I remember that, but like I remember I don't know one of them like jokingly shouted out the other one, and then they apparently like actually did. I don't know. Maybe they didn't. Maybe I'm
huh.
misremembering. But
I
he
know
had something
that.
with Katy Perry. Yeah.
Yeah, the year before, 2014, he led us to beat Alabama in the Sugar Bowl.
Oh, I forgot about
And that
that.
was the game where everybody was like, I think Alabama was like a 20-point favorite or something. Like they were
Mm-hmm.
supposed to just destroy us, and we ended up winning that game.
Bro, anytime Alabama loses is a good day for me.
Yeah, and my mom is from there, so it's like
I
now
know
that
that.
we actually play them in Norman this year, like
Ooh,
at
that's
at
exciting.
OU. Isn't that
Yeah,
crazy, dude?
that's exciting.
Yeah. Well, how do
Do
you
y'all?
feel about like what the Big 12 is getting kind of messed up? Like, do you think that?
I'm glad that I was briefly an Aggies fan after my brother went there because I don't have high hopes for Big 12 football being very entertaining for the foreseeable future. But SEC is gonna be really lit now, so you know
Yeah.
what? I can watch Baylor and I love being a Baylor fan because I never expect us to be good. And
Yeah.
so like whenever Baylor loses a football game, other than the OU one, because without ooh, whenever Baylor loses though, or like we have a bad season, I'm like, yeah, that's what I figured.
Yeah.
Whenever we have a winning season though, it's so much more hype, dude.
Yeah, I was gonna say like Baylor's due. It's been a couple years. Baylor's due to have their like every few season like undefeated
Dude,
season. You know what I mean?
I don't know what it is. It's like every like about 3 years on a reliable like cycle because like 21 whenever we beat OSU for the Big 12 championships, and then I think it was 2018 the same year that we lost to OU. We also did really well that season though I remember,
Yeah. I think
and
yeah.
so this is 24. Theoretically, we should be good again.
Mhm.
Because I think
Yeah.
also like 2015 we were pretty good, and then like 2012, with early 2010s, like there was
Like
they were
RG3.
actually with RG3 they were actually like consistently good for like 2 or 3 years, but you know
Yeah.
that's not expected.
Yeah, dude. So we're at like 39 minutes. I feel like that we could probably go on with college football, but we can put that to another day.
Oh,
Just to
we
end the pod
we
off, like
yeah we could
what
yap about college football all day.
for sure. Yeah, no. And once we get into the season, we can like we'll have some content.
It'll be
Um,
good. We got to get Jake on for that.
for sure. Yeah. Um, so who do you think, and this is so vast, but
Yeah.
just in general, who do you think is the greatest athlete of all time?
I don't think this is really a hot take, but I gotta say Wayne Gretzky, dude.
Yeah.
Just because like the records he holds in the NHL are ridiculous. And more than that, he like stats wise, like physical stats wise, like size and like speed and everything, he is almost completely average. Like he was just that much more skilled than like everybody else that like he has the most points scored and he has more points than like the next person even has assists. Like he
Yeah.
holds like literally dozens of NHL records, and to me I feel like he's like the only athlete at like the top of like he's like the only goat that you can't really argue. I
Yeah,
feel
I mean,
like
he's
like
number three on the top 10 greatest athletes of all time list I have pulled up. Like,
oh,
dude,
okay.
whenever you think of NHL, though, like, you think of Wayne Gretzky. And his
Not like
nickname is literally the Great One.
yeah. I mean like there's I forget how to say his actual name, but like the Magnificent or the Magnificent something that played at like the same time as him and was also really good.
Hmm.
And then now we have like McDavid, and McDavid for the Oilers is really good also, but he's nowhere near Gretzky.
Yeah, there's like Sidney Crosby as well, right?
Yeah, that. Thank you. God, I was blanking on the name for yeah the Penguins,
Yeah, now
but
see, here's okay. I really want to say Michael Jordan is just the greatest athlete of all time. And
yeah.
I think that there's still a strong argument to state that he is the greatest athlete of all time. I don't
Yeah,
think that like
not
in
not a hot take. Definitely not
yeah,
a hot take.
like in the time that he played in, if you would to listen, if you would put Michael Jordan in today's game, yes, I agree that he would absolutely just murk. I think that he would have so many more titles and so much more points if you put Michael Jordan from then in today's NBA.
Yeah,
People
I
score a
could,
lot more in today's NBA. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Um, but LeBron James has some accolades. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
you can pretty much make an argument for him too.
No, and
Um,
like I love that about basketball, like how up for debate the GOAT is because
yeah.
like there are so many like really good basketball players, which obviously that goes for like every league or like every sport, but like
Hmm.
basketball especially like
Yeah. So I want to say Michael Jordan, and I love Michael Jordan. Like, just watching his like highlights is just insane. But like
yeah,
my opinion, athlete wise, like, and I don't know if it's a
yeah.
hot take. Maybe it is. I know a lot of people are going to agree with me, but I think that
Ooh.
Tiger Woods will never be topped. Like,
Tiger Woods is definitely like I don't think it's a hot take other than him like just golf
yeah.
because some people really don't
Yeah,
like
because
golf.
yeah, people don't really think it's super athletic. I could see that, but like Scotty
Yeah.
Scheffler's coming up right now, though. That dude did something. I think he won the Masters, the Players, and the Memorial Tournament, and no one has done that other than Tiger Woods.
Ooh. Ooh, also, even though like we've already given our opinions, I would also say Lionel Messi is definitely up there. But again, similar to Tiger Woods, just because we're in America, especially, people don't really care about
Yeah, well,
soccer. But
Tiger Woods isn't on this list, but Messi is number 8.
okay, no, dude, whenever Messi finally won the World Cup the other year, like
Mm-hmm.
again, I don't care about soccer that much other than like the Olympics and whenever FIFA's happening. I did cry for him though, because like that was so big because like he's the goat of soccer, but there was like that asterisk of but he's never won a
But he's
World
never
Cup.
won one. Yeah, and I actually that was the first time I've ever watched soccer.
Yeah,
Was
dude,
that?
I was so happy for him then.
Yeah. There's and then there's like the rest of this this list is like you can make a argument for like all these people. I think. I mean, Muhammad Ali, obviously.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Usain Bolt, dude.
I mean, literally the fastest man alive or to
Yeah,
ever live. Yeah,
Michael Phelps,
very valid. Yeah.
Jim Thorpe, Babe Ruth,
Ooh.
Bo Jackson, and this one I honestly this is something
Ooh.
I thought about, and I never watched tennis, dude. But Roger
Yeah.
Federer has been literally so dominant in his whole career, and he's
See,
number 10 on the list. But I don't ever watch tennis. I just know
so.
that like he's always on the Sports Center highlights like
Yeah,
years and years later. But yeah, I mean,
not a bad list actually.
yeah, I mean that's kind of all I got for today. You got anything else?
No, I think that's a pretty good range of sports related topics that we yapped about.
Dude, yeah, I'm sick right now because I had to talk about the 2018 OU Georgia game again. Like all I listen, the only thing that would make me feel better is if I could get like a Baker Mayfield Rose Bowl jersey or something
Ooh,
because that would make me feel better, but it would still hurt that he didn't get a championship.
yeah.
But yeah, I think we're all good, bro.
All right. This will be dropping. I don't know why we're still talking. Actually, I
Yeah.
guess we could have.
It's
Could have.
dropping tomorrow if you're still listening. Oh, yeah. If you're
Yeah.
listening and you're not subbed, go ahead and sub. If you're leave it, leave a like, leave a comment, leave us like what your best and worst sports moments were.
Yeah. Give us that engagement.
Sure. Yeah. All right. We'll see you guys later.
Bye, y'all.